Hello, and welcome to the Empowerography Podcast. This is a platform created for women's voices to be heard and a place to share their stories, journeys, and successes with the world for the purpose of helping other women who might be on similar journeys. We are empowering women one episode at a time. I'm your host, Brad Walsh, so kick back, grab one of your favorite beverages, and enjoy the stories. Hello there, it's Brad. The Empowerography Live Conference 2026 is happening live and in person for the first time here in Toronto in April of 2026. This is your chance to step fully into your power over 2.5 incredible days. You'll hear from 30 plus inspiring speakers, join hands-on workshops, and connect with women from around the world who are ready to grow, learn, and rise together. This isn't just an event. This is an experience that will leave you motivated, empowered, and ready to take action. Seats are limited, so head to my website and secure your spot today. All the information will be in the show notes, and we look forward to seeing you in April. Hello there, Brad Walsh here, your host of the Empowerography Podcast, a platform that was created to help elevate and amplify the voices of women through sharing their stories. Today, my guest is Isabelle Von Boetticher. She is a personal energy management coach that supports ambitious mompreneurs and female business leaders activating their confidence, energy, focus, and joy in order to thrive through challenging life transitions. Welcome, Isabelle. How are you?
Hi, Brad. Thank you. I'm happy to be here today.
I am so excited and honored to have you here today. Thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today. I know that we have been waiting for a while to get this done. It's been on the books for a while, so it's nice to finally have you here. So with that being said, let us jump right in and start sharing all about your story, your journey, and the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do. Now, when you think back to your own personal journey as a working mom, navigating the demands of life, when did you first realize your energy was your greatest currency?
I don't think that there was a certain aha moment. It was just at one point, I was feeling that you can only work so much on your time management to get everything done, but time is limited. Or you can work as much as you want on your health, healthy eating, and working out. But all of this is restricted, is limited. And when I started to understand that my energy and how I feel is something that is infinite in the sense of I can increase my energy and I have the power to do that myself, it becomes an infinite source. And that's what is so powerful. And again, there was not one aha moment, I think, in my life. That I was probably practicing more and more things that helped me to have my energy when I wanted, at the degree or the level I wanted. And so that's what made it for me.
What were a couple of the things that you were practicing in order to help revitalize and increase your energy?
Back in the days, it's like I was like, yeah, it was okay if you work with energies, like the energy work. And I want to say also that I started out practicing yoga and meditation, and not because I wanted to work on my energy. It's just like, this is how I got closer and introduced to being in contact with my own energy body and understanding the theory of that every thought, every feeling, every emotion in your body is manifested by frequencies, vibrations. So that's energy. But again, when I first started, it was just to practice yoga and meditation to be more calm in stressful times. And then I started to do that more. And I dived a little bit deeper into not just practicing it, but then also teaching it or becoming a teacher and understanding that the benefits that you have if you, for example, practice yoga or meditation are not just there the moment you do it. There are long-term effects. And this is so powerful about it. So that was a shift that started when I was 25 years old, getting fresh out of university and being in the stress of finding my first job and not knowing how to cope with all this stress that it was. And it was also a first life transition, right? So serious parts of life are starting to begin. You have to make your own money and you start working. Student anymore who's having fun and partying also. I was really turning to yoga and meditation and having it become bigger, the practice in my life to cope with life like that.
That inner
Exactly.
peace.
Yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
an active
So,
person, so I used to do sports a lot. And I just I like doing sports, but it's not sufficient. So it's not helping me to really manage my resilience and my levels of energy. Yeah.
yeah. And so what was the wake-up call then that forced you to stop surviving and truly start living?
Okay. So then I jump fast forward. So then I guess I was in my early 30s. I was already a mom,
Mhm.
working mom, and in a high position in the corporate world. And I was feeling something is off in the sense of I was giving everything, obviously, to my child and the job to my colleagues, my clients, my boss, and obviously also family responsibilities. And by that time, I was divorced, though, but I felt that I perform well. Like my reviews from my bosses were always amazing, and I hit all the targets that were to be met. And from the outside, people were telling me, like, you're having a great career and your child is doing well, everything is fine. But I was internally constantly feeling stressed and not enough and not knowing how to cope with this. I also felt like I cannot share this with people because nobody wants to hear problems if
Right.
everything looks so good from the outside.
Yeah.
And in the career, it was like I did something that I liked doing, but I didn't feel really valued for everything I am and everything I can put to the table. And at one point, I started having ailments, chronic diseases on my skin, and I was ignoring that and not seeing a context there or like a relationship between what's going on with my health and how am I not fulfilled or overwhelmed with my life until I was faced by it. Just like I really had a client, actually, it was a vendor that became a friend. We worked together for quite some time, and he faced me one dinner. We had one business lunch at one point, and he was just asking me, so how are you? How is everything going? And I don't know why, but in that moment, I was just like not being able to just say everything is fine. And I broke down because it was too much to always shine. And even if internally you don't feel like it. So he told me that I am about to waste my career and waste my life if I don't change anything about the situation where I am. And that hit me really strong. That was for me the wake up call because I understood that he was right. And that was so blunt and so clear that I had to change something. It doesn't help to complain about the situation you are in or finger pointing and saying you have a bad boss or clients or whatever it is. It's really to understand like you have the responsibility to take care of this temple of yours, this body of yours with which you are experiencing this wonderful life as a human being on this planet. So if I don't open up and ask for support or help, I will not be able to get to that part where I don't feel alone anymore. So and things can be changed. So yeah.
Yeah. I think that's incredible self-awareness, first of all, because some people, they just stay stuck in that situation. They don't realize the link between them not being happy, them feeling miserable, and their health problems that manifest because of those feelings within our bodies. Because emotions, that's exactly what dis-ease is. It's stuffed down emotions that we don't resolve. And the fact that you also had that friend that pointed it out to you, there's still people who would have that conversation and still not take that advice and still not listen and stay stuck in that situation. So kudos to you for having the self-awareness and for leaning in and trusting in yourself and realizing that if I don't make this change, no one else on the planet is going to do this for me. I have to do this for the benefit of me and those around me. Because yes, of course, it starts with us first. We are the foundation, and we have been taught and conditioned to believe that putting ourselves first is selfish and all of these different things. And I think that's something that, especially for women, that they've had to deal with, is that no, you've got to give to everyone else first, and then whatever's left, that's for you. And that's the constant thing with women having to deal with that. So kudos to you for realizing and stepping up and stepping into that and owning that, because it is beneficial first and foremost to you, but also all of those who you surround yourself with.
Absolutely. And it's also, as a mom, on the one hand, is easier because when you become a mother, you obviously, each mother wants to be the best mom to her child. And I think every mother has at one point experienced that giving everything of yourself so that the baby is fine will exhaust you at one point. So you have to at one point start turning it around, and wanting to be the best mom means taking care of yourself first. So in that sense, I always think like maybe as mothers, it's a little bit easier to go through this journey than maybe for guys who are not by nature connected with their bodies and what they say, what they communicate with you constantly. But it's also this extra burden because as mothers, we like to give. And this is feminine nature, right? We give, we host, we
nurture.
Exactly. And so it is so important to understand that all of that, you need to do it for yourself first. Otherwise, you can't be there for any clients, any husbands, any children if you don't take care of yourself first. And it's not selfish at all. This is what I'm teaching my clients. There's something like healthy selfishness. And that's
yes, you have to. You have to put yourself first. Otherwise, you have nothing left to give anybody, least of all yourself, which is the most important person you need to be giving to. 100%. Isabelle, you've lived in both worlds, modern medicine and holistic healing. What did you see behind the curtain of each that made you want to bridge the two instead of choosing a side?
Oh, yeah. I think that's a very important question because very often in nowadays, it's as the discussion in society is like that there is this either or. And if you are truly holistically working, you have to reject everything that modern pharmacy has developed, and the other way around. If you think or believe only in modern medicine, you cannot do anything that is good for your soul, or homeopathic treatments or nature-based plants and stuff like that. And I was always feeling, I don't know, this doesn't sound right to me. And then I had the advantage of my own healing journey of my chronic skin disease, that sometimes it is just not, that sometimes it is needed to address a health situation from both sides. Probably what is for me the main difference between both is that holistic health care is more preventative and goes maybe deeper into root causes, whereas modern medicine very often is just treating symptoms. Not always, but very often. So like we have a headache, we take some pills so that we don't have the pain. But why we had the headache is still there. So now what I would probably then treat with breath work or nutrition or some other matters to see how you can help that. But of course, I'm not against if you have a super bad headache to take some pills to not have the pain. So I think it's just important to understand what is needed when, and what also is important for you at this moment, because we are different and not just female and male. We are so different in our ways to digest, and our ways to maybe have certain medication act with us. And so that has to be taken into consideration. I always see somebody, and for me, holistic means as a whole. So I'm not treating just, I don't know, a personal challenge that somebody has in their life without looking where are you working at or with, and how do you work, or what is your nutrition, and everything has to be taken into consideration. And I think we are very complex as a being, so we need to be addressing our ailments also in a more complex way.
Like you said, at the root cause, Western medicine, I think for the most part, we can't discount Western medicine. We do need it. Absolutely. It is beneficial for a lot of things. But I think that Western medicine, like you said, it's like putting Band-Aids over bullet holes. It does not get to the root cause. It doesn't dig in to figure out, okay, why is this happening? Why is this person experiencing these symptoms, whereas the holistic approach or Eastern medicine approach or whatever you want to call it gets to the root cause and dives in to figure out, okay, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
Western medicine, here's a pill, here's a pill, here's a pill. And then we get into the whole, and this could be a whole other podcast episode, the pharmaceutical industry, and this pill causes these side effects, so you need another pill for this and you need another pill for that pill, and it's a never-ending thing. And I love being able to share conversations like this and have conversations like this, because there's so many people out there who have no idea what's available to them, that there is alternatives to Western medicine that can help you perhaps much quicker in very different ways. It could be very much more beneficial to you than the Western medicine route. Now, it'd be an ideal world to see both Western and Eastern or holistic approaches working together and supporting each other. That would be ideal. And I think that we're seeing a shift.
Exactly.
Right?
I think you see that already, because I'm coming from this family of 7 generations of modern medicine doctors. And I've been now the one who's working with the holistic stuff, and everybody was never taking me serious. And I didn't care. And the funny thing is that nowadays, if I see my nephews and nieces who are also now studying medicine, they are more open into already, while they are studying, to learn a little bit more about plant-based treatment and stuff like that. So I think there are more and more openness from both sides to work together. And I know even a couple of my general practitioners back in Europe, they've been trained classically, studying 5 to 7 years Western medicine, but then they also did some training that are more holistic, homeopathic or naturopath based. And so there is even that already, that people are wanting to have both trainings, and so obviously be able to serve their clients in a more holistic way and to see who needs what. So I think this is definitely on the way.
That's very encouraging.
Yeah.
And very positive. I love hearing that. I was speaking with a woman a couple of weeks ago, and she was telling me that she trained in China, studied Chinese medicine, and she said she worked in a couple of hospitals there, and they actually had a Western medicine wing and an Eastern medicine wing, and they worked together. They collaborated and supported each other.
Exactly. I think it's not even like they have a wing like this. They consult each other for the cases of the patients.
Yeah, which is amazing.
Yeah. So there's really, totally.
When you say personal energy management, what does that mean to you beyond the buzzwords? What are we really managing here?
I started earlier by saying everything that is inside of us, like our thoughts and our emotions and our feelings, vibrations, right? Because you can measure them with the ECG or EEG. So that is energy. Now, personal energy management for me means to be aware that all your feelings, all your thoughts, and all your emotions are things that you can change, that you can influence. So you are not just, a vessel that carries like all these strange energies inside of you, and that happens to you. So I feel it is very important to understand how much we are in charge of how our energies are. So how well we feel, what our thoughts are, and our emotions, because we can manage them. It's a very simple example, but we know that the way we think influences our feelings and our emotions, but it's also the other way around. So if I have a bad emotion, or if I feel anxiety, obviously, I think differently. So if you know that it's in both ways impacting each other, then you know that by changing your thoughts, you can change your emotions. It's so powerful. So for me, that is personal energy management. If I can, instead of being scared because something might happen to me, or I worry about something, I just think, no, this is not happening. Or I'm just thinking the opposite. I just have a happy thought, literally, that will raise my frequency, that will raise my vibration of my emotions. So I think knowing this just in theory is one big step. And then practicing it, that's what I mostly like to teach my clients is to you can manage that. We are all energy workers if we want to.
Yeah. Yeah. But the self-awareness there, that's the big part. And then practicing that and knowing that you have the power within you to do that. And really, when you think, that's all we have control over is our own emotions and our own feelings and how we react to situations.
Absolutely. And it's not even like witchcraft. Like, we always take care of our physical body, right? We take a shower every day, once, maybe twice, and we brush our teeth so that this physical body is healthy. And then we can do the same for our energy body. So it's just like little practices that I teach my clients, where you can clean your energy body, where you can protect your energy body, when you can call all your energies back, because we are also constantly in exchange, right? Now, you and me, even though we are not at the same spot geographically, there is an exchange of energy that goes over kilometers and thousands of miles. And so we just have to understand that you might sometimes leave your energies at places. And so it's important to call them back so that you feel complete and not exhausted. And then there's so many other exercises where you can not just learn to understand and listen to what your energy body is telling you, but you can heal a lot. You mentioned it earlier when you said these diseases are nothing else than constantly having emotions that were stuck, so that are not energy in motion, as I always say. So if these energies can get activated again and get into flow, then the root cause of that disease might also heal.
Yeah, absolutely. Our bodies are such marvelous, magical machines.
Absolutely.
They are beautiful creations. And all you have to do is look at when you cut yourself, our body heals itself. You could watch that in real time. You can see.
I always say that too. As an energy worker, I heal also a lot, but I try to make people understand that it's not me who's healing you. I am just activating your own self-healing powers, because
giving you the tools.
The body is a perfect machine that does, from the moment we are born, wants to do nothing else than keep us alive, healthy, and good. And that's what our whole system is doing every day, every single minute. And as you just said, like a little cut on your hand, if you don't do anything, just observe it, it will be closed after a couple of days. And
it's magical. It truly is.
Yeah.
And so before you began this path of personal energy management, what beliefs or habits were quietly draining your power? And how did you break free from them?
I think personally, as I told you where I'm coming from, so having this background of Western medicine family members for generations, I was also very much not, how should I say? First of all, I was thinking that's the truth. And the only truth is Western medicine. And then I was realizing with my own eczema as a child and people treating it very conservatively that it's not getting better. Maybe there's something else to it. And I was my own guinea pig and trying to find different ways of treating myself and understanding all of a sudden, there is actually a different way of doing it. And I can do a lot just by taking responsibility over. I think that's a very important part to me. And then what was limiting before that was like that I was maybe having limiting beliefs that most of the people have. Mine was like, I'm not enough, or I cannot do this. And the sad things about limiting beliefs is they are true because you believe in them.
Yes.
If they are not so encouraging, it's sad, but if you change them into a positive belief, they are true as well. So understanding that again, power of mindset work and allowing yourself to really activate exactly what it is, like activating self-healing powers is also a mental work. It's not just eating the right stuff and doing the right things. It's really being aligned within and believing that. So faithful to this wonderful complex machine that we have gotten to.
It does start here. This is the most powerful thing right here you have between your ears. It is so powerful. And whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, it's true.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's all here. It starts with this shift in mindset. That tool is so powerful. You have a computer in your head
Yeah,
and you
absolutely.
have control over programming it.
Exactly. And like one of the very common things we say is like this example with the glass that is half full or half empty. And both people would say the truth.
Yeah.
For one, it's
Yeah.
half full, for the other, it's half empty. It's just like the energy that goes with it's half full is more an energy of abundance instead
Yeah.
of scarcity.
Yeah.
And that is the power in it. It's like we all have different truths about the same reality,
Yeah.
but we can change that. We can
That's
change
right.
how we see things. And
And
so
only we can change that.
it's
What have motherhood and medicine taught you about the sacred intersection between science and soul?
a lot. First of all, I became a mother and wanted to do all mothers everything right. And then you realize, okay, not everything that your child is having is the norm. And then I was thinking, oh God, like he's not growing fast enough, or he is too small or too big or whatever. And I was always thinking this is a disease. And I realized, and I had a very good pediatric doctor for my child, and he was just like, this is just the normality of your child. So like there is no normality in that sense. Like, let specificities not be seen as a problem, more as weakness. So that's something that brought me to understanding, first of all, that, not everything that is different from a norm needs to be treated or is a disease that needs some modern medicine approach, but more appreciation of what is. And so I think that's, as such, is a very soulful approach to my life as a mother, but to my life in general. That in general, it is more about being than about always wanting constantly to change or to not accept what we are, because we have to be a perfect image of us that was probably conditioned through media or through our education or whatever. So it's just like really being more okay with who I am and what I am. And there is no perfect.
No, there's no such thing. It doesn't exist.
Exactly. And so even like modern medicine should not seek or try to sell us perfectionism.
Yeah.
It's not human. We are humans.
No, that's right.
So I think that's,
I love that.
Me together.
Yeah. What did burnout look like for you before you actually knew what it was? And what did it cost you emotionally, physically, spiritually?
Yeah, I guess it's exactly that. It's not being aware, not acknowledging what's happening inside. I definitely would. I think I even remember back in the days when I was experiencing the symptoms of burnout, that you would have asked me. I would say, no, I'm fine. I'm just like, I just need to do a little bit more of yoga, or I need to go a little bit more often to meditation or into the gym or sleep a little bit more, and just not acknowledging that the sum of the symptoms is not just this or just that. So I was simply not in contact with really my inner self, and also not understanding that probably there is more to health and to well-being than just physical health. So understanding that you need to take care of your body on all levels. And when I say all levels, I always like to refer to 4 levels, which is like the physical, obviously, then the emotional, the mental, and then the spiritual. Spiritual is super important. It's not necessarily religious at all. It's more like having a purpose in life, or being connected with something higher than just me or my friends and family and my environment. It's just like really having a purpose why I'm here. I take care of all of these levels of my health. That's, I think, the pathway to happiness and real health. I did not understand any of that when I was experiencing my burnout, but I was starting to open up. And again, I said, like earlier, I was already practicing yoga and meditation. So that opened up a window to, okay, there's maybe something more than your physical body that you have to take care of, and thinking about your emotions and your feelings, and then listening to how you breathe and how you eat, and not just what you eat. So bit by bit, I think it allowed me to get closer to who I am. So in that sense, sometimes people say like the diseases as a gateway to happiness. In my sense, it was like a little bit not a disease, but the burnout was definitely a big help in getting to where I am right now. Maybe I would not have gotten there. But we don't. It's like, yeah. It's like sometimes
It was
I
the
think,
portal. It was the portal that opened everything up.
yeah, it's like I think we change out of discomfort. We don't change if we think everything is okay. So yeah.
Change is uncomfortable as hell, and most people don't want to change. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, it usually does take something big to facilitate or be the catalyst for that change.
True.
Yeah. You speak a lot about energy as the foundation of everything.
Yeah.
What do most people still misunderstand about their own energetic power, do you think?
That they have power over them. That's yeah, because I think most of the people think, okay, first of all, they think it's very much limited to physical energy. So if I feel strong muscle wise and that's it, I have my energy body under control. And they don't take care of connection of mental health and physical health. And then a lot of people don't understand that it is something you don't need to take the pill to improve your personal energy management. It is more like remembering who you are and activating that. For example, very often, I think when we work with people who have mental health issues or who want to work on themselves, we bring them back into the times when they were a child. So what did you best like when you were a child? And then everybody remembers and does these things. And all of a sudden they are again ignited by their own uplifted energy, which is not physical at all. It's just like allowing them to do what they always want to do. And I think that is the important part, is like to allow ourselves again to not just function and fill out tasks and chores in life, but to remember that we are all here, all beings, to live happily and healthy. And maybe we have forgotten that through our modern lives. We are disconnected from our connection with nature, our connection with self. And I always say it is so important to reactivate that connection and to understand that it's you. It's you who can raise your energy level. You don't need to have a pill. You don't even need to have a doctor. Maybe somebody who can help you understand the power.
A coach or a mentor or a guide like yourself.
Exactly. Coach, mentor's guide to understand, to help you activate that, and then you can do it yourself.
It is every human being's birthright to live a joyful, fulfilled, happy life.
Absolutely.
It is your birthright. Abundance is our birthright.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly. And also connecting abundance and happiness a little bit from pure financial abundance or financial happiness, because this is, I think, why people are overwhelmed or sad or frustrated or depressed in nowadays life, because everybody thinks abundance is just money.
Yeah.
And no, it's like there's so much more in life. Yeah.
Absolutely. What does it mean to you personally to be fully alive in your body, not performing, not surviving, but actually inhabiting your body?
That's exactly that. Living on all these 4 levels, like physically, emotionally, spiritually, and mentally, consciously. So being consciously, this is when I feel fully alive, is like when I'm consciously experiencing my body. I feel complete. It's a feeling. It's not having or doing things. It's more being, feeling complete and connected with self and with the loved ones. Yeah, that's what I feel fully alive.
What is one daily ritual or energy practice that you swear by that has become non-negotiable in your own life?
Wow, I have more than one.
What's one of the biggest ones or most important ones that you utilize?
Breath work, definitely. Okay. Really, first thing in the morning when I wake up is to check in with myself. So it's really just like feeling inside. How do I feel? And what do I think? And then, according to what I need, give that to myself. So it could be a hug. It could be I want to listen to the music, or I want to do a meditation. But then immediately it is definitely doing breath work, because I have these little practices that don't take long. And they just bring energy in my body. They bring oxygen into my lungs and my blood cells. And so definitely breath work is something that I would always do.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. How do you define feminine energy in today's world beyond social media, explanations, the buzzwords, surface level bullshit talk?
First of all, I think it's super important to understand that we all, no matter if we are a man or a woman, we have feminine and masculine energies. It's normal. We are yin and yang. Cannot think like a woman has only that and a guy only that. And then, so female or feminine energies for me is like something that is kindness, for example, or allow to receive and be in touch with my own emotions and intuition and holding space. And again, if you hear it already, it doesn't mean that a guy cannot do that. It is something that is more the feminine energy, which is more flowing and round, whereas opposed to that, masculine energy is directive and straight to the point and more analytic, for example.
Okay. Thank you for explaining. What do you believe happens energetically and emotionally when a woman ignores her body's whispers for too long?
I don't know if I would want to answer that only for women. I think it's the same for all. But if I bring it back to women, so women by nature tend to give and maybe overgive. And as we said in the beginning, also have this natural desire to take care and nourish others. And if you have not taken care of yourself, then you get into this like overgiving and at one point being empty, and then you cannot give anymore. So I think if you do not listen to the signs that your body is clearly giving you, you will end up being exhausted, or we call it very often the silent burnout, because it's not necessarily that we completely break down and everything. Worst case, yes, this can happen, but there are so many signs much earlier that you get that are already to be taken very serious as well. But this is why I said, like, this does not only apply to women. I think men too should listen to this inner whisper, which is their feminine energy, by the way.
But men typically don't admit when they're struggling or burning out, or you never hear men saying, I haven't anyways, you never hear men saying, I'm struggling, I'm burning out, I'm burnt out. They don't talk about that. They're not vulnerable around that.
There's a change happening, first of all. And then there's also this thing, like when a man, like in the corporate world, says he's burned out, everybody thinks, wow, great, he worked so much that she's burned out. If a woman says she's burned out, she's like, oh yeah, she's too weak, she cannot take it.
Yes.
But then I think there is a big change, because if I see the generation of my son, there's so much more openness and naturally being vulnerable as a guy, because that they don't follow those patriarchal energy power patterns that you were just talking about. They live their vulnerability as a full man, and I like that.
Yeah, for sure. We are definitely seeing a shift, but I think there's still a lot of work to do there. For sure.
Yeah, it's not one, definitely not.
No.
Yeah, specifically in the business world, I have to say.
Yeah, for sure.
I see that because I work a lot with business women who are mothers as well, and like they have amazing careers, and then they understand, and then we do the work and they love it, but they say, yeah, but it's still, the fact is, in my career as a woman, if I use more my feminine power and my feminine energies, it is not so common. I don't want to say
it's not received very well.
Yeah, it's very often that they still have to put on the male leadership styles in them to succeed, or they had to back in the days, because women who are more like 50 plus, and they remember how it was back then, that it's just, the consensus way of leading is something that comes now. And the forgiving way of leading and allowing people to make mistakes in order to grow or to create creativity and all of that. It is still not so broadly implemented and lived
Yeah,
in the leading levels of corporate business. Yeah.
for sure. I would agree with that. If you could rewrite the rules of how women approach health, success, and self-worth, what new truth would you want every woman to live by?
What new? What?
What new truth would you want women
Oh,
to live by?
wow. What new truth? Probably, I think women are the best if they surround themselves with other women.
Mm-hmm.
And as a truth, and that means like we are not in competition and we need to be more in these nourishing environments as a woman, as a mother, as a business leader, feminine business leader. And so the truth is to bring all of yourself to whatever you do as a mother again or as a business leader. It's important to bring your full self. And again, talking about this feminine and masculine energy. So you should be all of this in your position when you work as well as when you are a mom, because I guess you cannot just be in a one-faceted way of energy management. So
Yeah. Okay. Beautiful.
that's,
Thank you. What do you think is the real reason that so many women feel disconnected from their joy?
I guess, I think it's not just a guess. It's what I see. We just have described it a little bit, how the corporate world is conditioned.
Mm-hmm.
And again, this is like an image of the corporate world and the Western world. I think this is a pattern that you can observe where it is more important to get to certain results instead of how you get there, that has made women pursue careers in a very masculine way, which make them work aside of their whole nature. And so if you continue doing this constantly, not never, but too little living your feminine energies, you get disconnected from yourself.
Yeah.
That's the sad part about it. Yeah.
The conditioning has played a huge role in that. And again, going back to corporate, women having to adopt masculine energy in the boardroom, in the corporate space, where they have to put on this facade that this is how it is. And again, I think we're seeing a shift in that where there is more women stepping into leadership roles and adopting the more feminine energy in that space, which is great. Just we need to continue on that path.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for me, it's also important to see that as a work of collaboration.
Yes.
I don't think that we have as women to do this as a fight against men, because
Mm-hmm.
as I said, there's so many men who understand and who support women in that sense. And this is exactly what our society needs, to revalue a little bit more the role of women and mothers in
Mm-hmm.
all of our society, and not just as a mother.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's the only way we're ever going to experience and achieve real impact and change in the world is if that we come together as human beings and let's cast aside the fucking labels of masculine versus feminine, this constant patriarchy versus matriarchy, the warring between the sexes. We need to just come together as human beings and raise each other up and stand beside each other. That's the only way anything is going to get done in this world properly, is if we work together as humans,
Yeah,
because we
even
can't do it separately alone. It's impossible.
exactly. That's what I was going to go to. Even not just like coexisting, we should support each other, because
Yes.
I was like the best male is a guy who is supported by a woman or some
Yes,
feminine
of
energy,
course.
and vice versa. She
Hmm.
gets to her full self if she
Hmm.
is supported by a guy as well. I think that's very important that we understand that.
Collaboration is key. We can't thing called life alone. It's the lifeblood. We need to support each other. We need community. We need collaboration, and we need to support each other. There's no
Absolutely.
other way forward.
Yeah, totally agree.
What have you learned about your own feminine energy or feminine power, sorry, through the work that you're doing?
That it is exactly possible to lead my way, which is more a feminine way of leading, and I still can lead, because leading is not, as I thought for many years in the corporate world, like the one that screams loudest or runs the first line. And everybody has to follow them. That's the good leader. It's actually an art to lead from behind, in the sense of allowing people to choose me as their leaders. That is what I have learned through my work now, because my clients come to me and they look for guidance, and I lead them to their way. And that is beautiful. This is so powerful. I think much more powerful than if I would think back to what I used to think what leadership is all about.
This, what you just said there, reminded me of something. I saw a video clip and they were talking about wolves, and the leader of the pack leads from the back. They stay behind to make sure that the pack is safe, to protect, and they can see everything in front of them. They can see the pack in front of them, so they know what's happening. So I think that's very interesting and important to mention, that this is how it's supposed to be done. This is how it should be done. This is how proper leadership is.
Yeah, exactly. And again, like, so in the work I do now, working as an entrepreneur and coaching and empowering women, it is obviously much easier to do this than trying to do that in the corporate world. But I also work a lot with women in the corporate world to empower them to see that they can grow. And you have so many more human resources departments who are understanding that that's what they have to empower, their female leaders of the future, and not trying to copy and being like a guy, but to empower and to strengthen what is their strength in order to lead.
Yes, for sure. Now, in a society that glorifies this constant doing, hustle culture, all of these things, how do you help your clients find peace and power in simply being? I know we've talked about in that being energy. How do you help your clients find and feel into that?
Yeah. So usually we have programs. I work with them one-on-one for a couple of weeks or months, or I can also have groups. The first thing I do is the connection to their body, really their inner universe. No matter what you want to succeed outside, you have to be first connected with yourself. So this has a lot to do with breath work, inhaling, exhaling consciously, and allowing yourself to feel whatever comes up in your body and where you feel a bodily sensation. So this is like the first most important steps. It's like really to connect them with themselves, and being able to have tools now to do that regularly and to work with that, improve how you feel, what you feel, where do you feel it in your body. Be meditation work, breath work, energy work, differently. Sorry.
It always comes back to self.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Self and awareness is probably the most important teachings of my work. That I allow people to be aware of what's happening, and starting obviously with yourself.
Yeah. Now, through your work, you support women through massive life transitions, career changes, menopause, caregiving, empty nesting, all of these things. What do you think these seasons are trying to teach women?
These seasons are most of the time happening all at the same time. So it's like happening in your 40 plus or 45 plus, between 45 plus and 60. And in the contrary to what the society is teaching women, that's when you stop having your period, so you do not create life anymore. You become less sexy and less important. I feel it's exactly the opposite. I feel that this is a period in times of women in general, and it doesn't matter if she is a mother or not, where she steps into a new role of wisdom. And nature has given human beings this amazing tool of menopause to make it clear, like, she is now not the one who's making the babies anymore, or can make the babies. She's the one who holds space for sharing wisdom. And there's so much energy in that I encourage women to realize whatever dream that, for example, career-wise, that they used to have and that they never did. Like, you are not at the end of your life. You are stepping into a new, much more powerful role if you allow yourself. So
there's so much power and purpose in that. These are not endings. This is not the end of your life. This is the beginning of a new chapter.
Absolutely. Exactly. And it's also important to understand that we have been conditioned, again, through media in our modern lives, that you are first a baby and then a child, you go to school, teenager, and then you become a woman and get babies or not. But this is the, like, what you want, the ideal. And then there's no change afterwards? No. Why don't we see aging as something to make us complete instead of, oh, you were at the peak when you were, I don't know, 36 years old or whatever. Now everything is in decline. Well, no. Honestly, I always loved the age that I had, and I was always looking forward to what's coming next. And I was always experiencing as, oh my God, I don't want to change with 2 years ago or 10 years or 20 years ago. It is really like to really see the change as something new is coming, something different is coming, and not seeing every line in your face as like a next clue to your coffin. I don't know.
Ageism is something that it's so different for men and women. It's celebrated for men, but for women, it's, oh, your life's over now. This is it. This is the end of your life.
And
that needs to change. And that's total bullshit.
Exactly. Because just remember, like, yourself is, how would you think if you think back to the face of your grandmother? I think most kids, when they think back, or most people, if you think back as when you were a child and you think of your grandmother, you're like, oh my God, she was so warm and I loved her, and her lap and did that. So this is something exactly. We need to worship these women for the warmth and the wisdom that they give continuously. There's actually lots of education that they give to the next generations.
Absolutely. Absolutely agreed. How has this work that you do changed you, not as a coach, not as a professional, but as a woman, a mother, and a human being?
I think I have become softer and much more forgiving of my own, say, vulnerabilities or weaknesses even. Like I have started to, accept myself. I've been very much educated or conditioned, like you have to be perfect and everything you achieve, that's just nothing. So continue going more and more. And so when I started working with women and then obviously being a mother myself, I realized that it's so much more encouraging and it generates so much more energy within if I started to accept myself as a whole and with all the cracks, the experiences that, yes, it's all part of me. And that's what allows us to grow. If I only look on the sunny side, I think there's not much learning. So it's important to appreciate and acknowledge all of us.
Yeah, embrace all the parts, the messy parts, all of it.
Exactly. So I think that's what the work has helped me to do a lot for myself.
What truth do you wish ambitious, exhausted, overextended woman could hear right now and actually believe?
I see you. I've been there too. And you've got it. You've got it. You can change it. It does not have to stay like it is. You can change it.
What do you believe the next evolution of women's empowerment looks like beyond hustle, beyond healing?
A state of serenity, I think. And so there's no need to hustle or to fight against what was. There's more a serenity in being seen and share from that point. Yeah.
If you could leave women with one energetic mantra to carry through life's chaos and change, what would that be?
Be passionate, be focused, and stay open for the new. Yeah.
Beautiful. What does freedom mean to you at the very deepest level, beyond money, status, or recognition?
Freedom is probably like love. It's something that is just in my hands to experience the way I want. It's not something that I have to fight for or somebody can give me. It is something that I can explore and experience every single day. I always talk about my universe within. And so that's where I find freedom. Yeah.
How do you define success? What does that word mean to you?
Being happy and joyful in what I do and feeling that the ones around me are feeling that too. Connected to self and them. Yeah.
What does the word empowerment mean to you?
Being able to take charge of my own health and well-being.
Okay, we're going to jump into a little rapid fire section. So the next grouping of questions just be 1, 2, 3 word answer. Okay.
Okay.
What is your favorite place on earth?
Nature. Green.
What is one of your secret or hidden talents?
My highly sensitive personality. I listen. I can perceive people very well.
Okay. If you could teach the world one thing, what would it be?
Love.
What is one of your guilty pleasures?
Dark chocolate. Guilty about it.
No. What is one word that sums up your mindset?
Yes.
One book that changed your life?
Change Your Energy, Change Your Life by Dr. Cornelia Cavan.
Okay. What is one word that defines the woman you are becoming?
One word. Complete.
Beautiful. That concludes our rapid fire section. Now back to our regularly scheduled program. I created a bonus question that I did not send you ahead of time. How do you define love, both the kind you give and the kind you receive?
Presence. So being present, being understanding, kind, empathy. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Trust. Trust is also in both directions. Yeah. Trusting myself. And and unconditionally.
Okay.
Unconditionally.
Okay. Isabelle, if you were to introduce yourself to me without mentioning your occupation, where you're from, your ethnicity, your nationality, your religion, all of the day-to-day superficial markers that we use in life, how would you introduce yourself to me?
So nothing that's on the CV or on the resume.
Yes.
So I guess I'm a curious, childlike, open soul.
Beautiful. Nice to meet you.
I would have asked you this question. You should have what do you think?
If you could step into my shoes, what question would you have asked yourself that I didn't ask you?
Do you have any regrets in life?
Okay, go ahead.
I have actually to say that I only have one regret in life, and that was lying about something really important to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Besides that, every experience, everything I did and said, I don't have any regrets. And I think this is for me important to continue living like that.
For sure. Yeah, living a life with regret is not living a life at all. You don't want to be on your deathbed and, oh, I wish I did this, or I regret doing that, or anything like that. You want to be able to look back and think, I lived a damn good life.
Yeah.
I enjoyed myself.
Also accept maybe things that were not right, but at that time, what you did.
That's right. Yeah, we do the best with what we have in that moment and what we know.
Yeah.
And that's all we can do.
True.
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that piece of advice be?
Don't doubt yourself too much and surround yourself with uplifting, supportive women or people.
If you had the opportunity to sit down and have a 1-hour conversation with one woman, any woman in the world, who would it be and why?
I think it would be one of my ancestors, my female great-great-great-grandmothers. I would like to sit down with her and ask her what are her wildest dreams for the future of women.
That'd be a beautiful conversation.
Yeah.
Lastly, if you were to deliver your last 30-second speech to the world, your corner of the world, your tribe, your people, what would that last 30 seconds sound like? What words of wisdom would you impart?
Ooh, love always. I don't have a 30-second speech, but
Beautiful.
Love. Yeah.
Isabelle, thank you so much for taking and making the time to be here with me today. I have thoroughly enjoyed every moment of our conversation. It was an absolute honor and pleasure to have the opportunity to sit down and share in your story, your journey, and the beautiful light you put out into the world through the work you do. Thank you so much for being here with me. I am grateful to call you a friend, to have you as a member of the Empowerography community. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Brad. I don't know how to say thank you, really.
I appreciate that. Once again, my name is Brad Walsh, host of your Empowerography podcast. Today, my guest has been Isabelle Von Boetticher. She is a personal energy management coach that supports ambitious mompreneurs and female business leaders activating their confidence, energy, focus, and joy in order to thrive through challenging life's transitions. Thanks so much, Isabelle. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast, and on Facebook at Empowerography. Please join me next time for another inspirational story from yet another amazing woman. Thank you very much for listening to this podcast. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe, rate, review, and share with all your friends. You can find me at visuphoria.ca, follow me on Instagram at Empowerography Podcast.